Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.97 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 4.9%. Bitcoin now 118,000 plus, Ethereum 3,600 plus, XRP $3.37. Now we're off 4.1 on the 24, but we're up 14.3 on the 7-day. Let's look at the range of price because we fell off a cliff. Look at this right here. You could just see right here, just yeah. So nonetheless, we're at 334 on the bottom to 357 here. We will take a look at some TA before we get out of here, but I tell you, it's nothing but positive, okay? Things don't go up forever. The markets are organic. We got to see things take a breath and gear up. We know that 365 was a very, very crucial point. And we know from several technical analysts and certainly from Egg Crypto who told us 365 is where we've been hitting our head and we've bounced all the way back to 334 now. But the idea is to get to 365 and close above that. So we've been hitting our head on 365. We fell back to 334. But if we get above 365 and close above that, oh, we're going to be back on. We're going to be so back on. But I want to remind people of this. Listen, I'm not taking a shot at Ledger or anybody else, but whether it's cold storage or exchanges or what have you, the number one thing that matters most is knowing that your assets are safe. That's the number one thing. And I tell you, this is why I've told you I keep my assets spread across multiple different platforms. iTrustCapital is one of them. Not only do I have the IRA, but now they've introduced the premium custody account. There's two things to take note of here. Well, really three. One, if you're a new customer, you can get a $100 funding bonus. You're going to want that. Number two, the IRA itself is the best IRA in the business, period, hands down. Write that down, okay? The PCA is the public side of that, so where you don't have an IRA, you just have an actual account. Anyone can get it. You put your money and your crypto in, but you can only come out in cash. And this was done to remove some of that attack vector from bad actors in this space. So whether it's a SIM card swap, you clicked on something in your email you shouldn't have, your text message, you got a call and you fell victim to something. I've been a part of it. The executives and founders at iTrust have been a part of this. They understand the struggle. So make sure you click the link below. But don't sleep on the IRA either now. Because just as a full disclosure reminder here, you know, $9 trillion worth of 401ks are about to be opened up by President Trump. So think about the power move you could make by putting your 401k in your crypto IRA, have a back office, you're completely empowered, you control all the assets the way you want to have it. You can't do that in your 401k right now. I'm just telling you, there's a massive moment in front of all of us. We know that these assets are no longer being shoved out. They're being embraced, and they're about to be brought into fold of the financial system. And what an opportunity that is. So whether you're looking for that custody for the PCA and you're looking for that peace of mind, they have it. No monthly fee for that. And it's a 1% trade fee when you sell out of your assets. And the worst thing that could happen in your PCA, if you were hacked and you did something wrong on your side, the only thing that bad actor could do is to cash out and send it to your checking account. And that is the kind of safety and security I'm always looking for, no matter where I put my assets. Go to iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army. Use the code below XRP6. Let's go right down here and just show you. It's all the way at the bottom here. XRP6 is the promo code. But use that link underneath every video to get started today. Don't waste time. This market's about to explode. Let's take a look at this. You know, the banking associations came together to try to slow down the Circles and Ripples of the world from getting their trust, their banking license and master account at the Fed. But this is a nice reminder from Ratha Conman here. It says the American Bankers Association is calling on the OCC to stop crypto bank license approvals for companies like Ripple and Circle. Meanwhile, Citigroup, Goldman, JP Morgan are all hiring people in crypto and digital assets. The institutions are here. Isn't this what they do? Let's try to suppress the up-and-comers, right? The ones in the space that have been building this asset class out. And let's see if we can't get an advantage. Let's lean in on the regulators and write a letter from the associations and see if we can stall the Circles and Ripples from getting their banking charter license. I mean, it's just unbelievable, but it's a last gasp from the banking industry, and it's not going to work. I'm telling you that right now. Because the institutions are still gearing up to be in this space, so you know it's a delay tactic. Correction, Wisdom Tree is rebranding WUSD stablecoin to USDW, which is already live on Stellar and with other blockchains planned for the future. So shout out to Wisdom Tree. You can see everyone's coming into this space. It's unavoidable. They can try to act otherwise, but it isn't. And here we see this. Chicago Mercantile Exchange says XRP growth speaks for itself. I love that. 108,000 contracts traded, 3.1 billion in notional volume, ladies and gentlemen, and 49.6 million XRP equivalent. Yeah, this thing is taking off like a rocket. We still don't have the spot XRP ETFs, which are stacking up nearing 20 at this point. And this just in, 21 shares just filed with the SEC for an Ondo ETF, physically backed and managed by Coinbase custody. Here we go. Look, I'm super excited about this, and I'm super excited about Ondo. And we've been talking about this in the DPMG. I picked up some Ondo a couple months ago. I'm super excited about what they're doing. And I'd like to have Ondo at XRP Las Vegas 26. That would be amazing. You are formally invited. And this just in, the SEC approves XRP ETF by Bitwise. But hold on to your hat. Just as fast as they approved it, they took it back. The SEC approves Bitwise's crypto ETF conversion, then immediately pauses it. And this letter is to notify you that pursuant to Rule 431 of the Commission's Rules of Practice, the Commission will review the delegated action. In accordance with Rule 431, July 22nd, 2025, order is stayed until Commission orders otherwise. So, in other words, you don't move forward until we tell you to. A big pause button. Okay, so now this makes me feel like, look, we're going to get it. They approved it, but then they said, not, hold on. You can do it, but not until I tell you, right? So it's a yes, but when I say so. And that tells me that they're probably going to line up a whole bunch of other horses in the gate and then let them all out at the same time. Wouldn't that be fun? And then in the interim, we're seeing this. Citadel met with the SEC today to discuss none other than tokenized securities. Oh, you don't say. Is that a fact? Nate Garazzi says, let's see who SEC Crypto Task Force met with today. Just Citadel Securities. That's all. That's all. Tokenized equity securities, Citadel? Yeah, Citadel's interested in that, right? You know who else is interested in that? Yeah, the DTCC, when they announced that they can tokenize $100 trillion worth of assets unilaterally without anyone's permission, and Ripple recently acquired Hidden Road, approved to help settle it all. There's the approval. And we know Ripple bought Hidden Road, right? They were already settling $3 trillion, but I found the clip that Subjective Views put out back in early May. Shout out to Subjective Views. If you're not following Subjective Views, I don't know what in the world you're thinking. Maybe you're not. You should be.
The CEO, Frank LaSala, and the board had foresight that, hey, this is a disruptive technology that can fundamentally change the way we do business. We need to harness that technology. So they acquired security not as the only technology, but as a foundation, especially a foundation for how you do regulated assets, on which we could blend together the other technologies, distributed ledgers, smart contract frameworks, tokenization frameworks to create a coherent marketplace. So they're forward leaning in that model. As I mentioned to you, the one right to win that DTCC has in this model is we are the record keeper for quadrillions of dollars of transactions, but for fundamentally assets under record, approximately $100 trillion worth of assets. So unilaterally, without the need to engage anyone else, we can actually make it possible to tokenize $100 trillion worth of value. No one else can do that efficiently. So we have both a right and a responsibility to do that effectively for the financial markets because it unlocks so much among those things that it unlocks. So we're building out those rails to do that, to make it so that parties can, within seconds, convert any traditional holding into token form to conduct transactions.
It's remarkable every time I hear it. Listen.
Keeper for quadrillions of dollars of transactions, but for fundamentally assets under record, approximately $100 trillion worth of assets. So unilaterally, without the need to engage anyone else, we can actually make it possible to tokenize $100 trillion worth of value. No one else can do that.
That's what we're talking about. And that might be a good reason why Citadel is now sitting down and talking about tokenized equity securities too, you think? Well, let me ask a big question. When you tokenize all this stuff, where are you going to custody everything? Who's going to custody all that? Remember this? Monica Long, president of Ripple? Remember years ago when Monica Long became the president of Ripple? And I said to the audience, you can go back and find the video when she became it, and you can find the video in my playlist. Announcement. Monica Long is now the president of Ripple. And the first thing I said was, wow, that reminds me of banks, because banks have presidents too. What'd they need a president for unless they were going to become a bank? And here we are this many years later, and they're applying for a bank license. Take a listen to where everything will get custodied and what kind of stuff will get custodied. And take a listen to this about tokenization, stocks and bonds, the things that the DTC settles.
Payments is also kind of like a base use
Hold on, let me get the volume right.
case for other types of financial services. Like if you think about security settlement, like it triggers a payment at the end of it. So we thought we should tackle this first, but we always did have our sights set on expanding into tackling other types of financial use cases. So capital markets is kind of like a logical place to expand.
So stocks and
bonds, bonds,
yeah.
Exactly.
Notice how she was using the kind of verbiage that dances around and just saying, stock bonds, finding other ways to say this is their job. They're not trying to be evasive on purpose. They're trying to be very careful about their language that that they don't reveal too much business strategy publicly. And two, you don't want to get out in front of the regulators and everything you're trying to do to be transparent, compliant, and working with the system to make sure that they understand that you're a good actor. So this is how you have to decipher this stuff. And we've done it. And we've done a pretty damn good job of it over the last 8 years here. And we've had some misses. We can't get it all right because we don't get to be in the room and sit at the big table. But I tell you what, from being on the outside, from where we are, things are poised to absolutely launch off of the launch pad here. And that launch pad is the passing of the actual infrastructure bill, the Clarity Act. Because that's what we're waiting for now. We certainly need the Anti-CBDC Surveillance Act as well. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm just saying that infrastructure bill becoming law is going to bring everyone off of the sidelines, and the NDAs will start to lift because it doesn't matter anymore, and it will be game on, and who can get there first and who can get as much market capture right out of the gate before anyone else can. That's going to be the name of the game as soon as that Clarity Act passes. Now, I'm not suggesting that price can't move before then. I certainly believe it can. I'm just telling you what I'm waiting for is that macro catalyst, which I have said for years now. It is, in fact, U.S. legislation becoming law that will set this market free. No question. Taking a look at this, I can't play the clip, but it's an old clip from Brian Knight from back in Fast Money days. And it's back when he said, you know, the longer the base, the higher in space. Well, we've been suppressed for a lot of years. Shout out to XRP Bags. Give him a follow. And this guy's also an artist also, so make sure you follow him. I love supporting music and artists, you know what I mean? And I just think he's a cool cat. But 2014 to 2017 base was 1,064 days. Before that, 2017-18 explosion. Then 2018 to 2024 is 2,280 days, 2 times longer. So will we see 2 times the breakout? I'm here for it. One thing I do know is Uphold's excited. Uphold says XRP is consolidating in a bullish pennant days after hitting that 365 mark. Spot price hovering at 350, resistance forming at 346. Breakout could pave the way to $6. Analysts point to order book demand and technical momentum building since early June. Is XRP gearing up for $6? I say absolutely a breakout's coming, regardless of the dip that we're in currently. And hell, I may just buy it. I haven't decided yet, though. But nonetheless, that's where my head is today. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. And we're going into the freedom zone. And boy, oh boy, are you going to want to hear what's going on with this conversation of treason and the current president that's talking about a former president about such matters and saying it is no longer a conversation or speculation. This is a fact that it happened. The question now is what's going to come of it? Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going inside right now. Come on in.